It starts innocently: an email, a direct message, or a connection request on your favorite social platform from someone who seems to get you. They share your hobbies, your interests, even your political viewpoints. Before you know it, you've struck up a daily conversation. Then, in a casual tone, they mention they've made a small fortune in cryptocurrency, trading on a platform that guarantees returns far above anything your bank or broker can offer. They invite you to try it, promising a risk-free trial and walking you through each step. It feels friendly, personal, and entirely credible until it isn't. By the time you realize the platform is a sham, they've pressured you to invest more, locked your withdrawals behind technical excuses, and gently shifted your focus from small gains to bigger opportunities. Suddenly, your crypto wallet shows zeros, your messages go unanswered, and the charming friend you trusted vanishes as quietly as they appeared. This scheme, known as pig butchering, preys on retirees' desire for steady supplemental income and their trust in personal connections. Scammers spend weeks fattening up their targets, learning what worries them, what motivates them, and how much they can afford, only to cut off all contact once they've persuaded them to transfer substantial sums to unregulated exchanges. Victims often feel shame and embarrassment, delaying any report to authorities, which allows the con artist to move on to their next mark. In 2025, these crypto romance scams are more sophisticated than ever. They use deepfake profile pictures, fake trading dashboards that show fabricated profits, and customer support lines staffed by actors. Before you even suspect danger, you're entangled in a web of deceit so polished it could fool even the most cautious investor. So, if someone online suddenly seems too interested in your financial future, remember, no genuine friend or advisor guarantees 5% to 10% daily gains, and anyone who insists they can make it easy for you to become the next pig on the butcher's block. Outwardly, a precious metals IRA rollover sounds like rock-solid security. After all, gold and silver have centuries-long track records of holding value when paper assets stumble. Advisors tout IRS approval, state that you can roll your 401k or traditional IRA into a metals-backed account, and spotlight the fear of inflation or currency devaluation as proof that bullion is a better bet. You picture gleaming bars stored in a high-security vault, your retirement, literally banked on something you can hold in your hand. But here's the catch. Those gleaming bars come with markups, so high they swallow your premium before you even take delivery. Dealers tack on concealed fees, premium charges, costs, shipping and handling, and vault storage fees that eat into returns every single year. What seemed IRS approved isn't direct ownership. It's a lease arrangement where you pay storage rent and insurance, often 0.5% to 1% of your holdings value annually. Meanwhile, when you want to liquidate, you face buyback spreads, dealer commissions, and sometimes even minimum sale requirements. You might have to sell an entire bar worth tens of thousands just to access a fraction of your balance. And if your dealer goes bankrupt or the custodian mishandles your assets, there's no FDIC backstop and few practical legal avenues to recover your coins. By the time retirees discover they can't retrieve their bullion or that their rare coins were actually common pieces marked up 20% above spot price, they're locked in with no straightforward exit. The worst part? Many rollovers are sold through free seminars or slick webinars, where presenters play on recession fears and promise insider access to wholesale bullion that never materializes. In the end, retirees end up with expensive storage bills, illiquid assets, and a false sense of security, only to realize too late that their precious metals IRA is far more precious to the scammers than to their own portfolios. Investing in real estate syndications can spark dreams of passive income from apartment complexes, strip malls, or vacation properties, complete with professional management teams and tax-advantaged structures. Sales materials showcase glossy photos, projected cash-on-cash returns of 8 to 12%, and promises of equity appreciation as tenants pay rent year after year. It sounds like the ultimate passive play. Hand over a check, lean back, and watch the checks roll in. But when those syndications are unregistered, meaning they haven't filed the required paperwork with the SEC, They operate in a legal gray zone tailored for scam artists. Here's how the trap closes. You're invited to a private placement through friends of friends, a local real estate meetup, or an exclusive email list. You get slick offering memoranda that look deceptively official, complete with fabricated track records, glowing testimonials, and detailed pro forma cash flows. You wire funds into an offshore escrow account or a private trust. Then for months, sometimes years, you hear crickets. Financial statements are delayed or full of vague line items you can't reconcile. Promised distributions never arrive, and when you ask for your money back, you're told the lockup period hasn't ended or that the deal hit a snag. Meanwhile, the operators slip away, assets never materialize, and you learn too late that there was no building, no tenants, and no legitimate GP general partner to hold accountable. Because these offerings dodge SEC registration, there's no mandated disclosure, no audited financials, and almost zero regulatory oversight. Victims find themselves with nothing but an untraceable note buried in an offshore trust agreement. Legal recourse can be prohibitively expensive and drawn out, and by the time you have a court judgment, the principals are long gone, funds dissipated through shell corporations and personal accounts. What seemed like a golden ticket becomes an expensive lesson in due diligence. If the syndication isn't registered or if you can't verify the underlying properties, you're essentially funding someone else's fantasy. And in 2025, these unregistered real estate scams are more sophisticated than ever, using AI-generated site plans, deepfake videos of existing properties, and forged bank statements to steal millions from unsuspecting retirees. If it looks too polished to be true, it probably is. And in the world of unregistered syndications, that shiny brochure could be your undoing. Imagine an app that promises you can double your money in days by trading on global currency swings, no experience needed, all automated by proprietary algorithms. It greets you with glossy dashboards showing unrealized profits climbing in real time and friendly account managers who cheerlead your every deposit. In reality, these offshore Forex and CFD contract for difference platforms are Pandora's boxes for retirees. They lure you with zero risk guarantees and teaser bonuses, say a 50% match on your first $10,000, and claim to be regulated by obscure agencies on distant islands. But the moment you request a withdrawal, the euphoric screens freeze. Customer support goes dark. Emails bounce. Your balance vanishes. Here's how it plays out. You start small, $1,000 here, $2,000 there, enticed by the platform's flashy zero commission pitch and insider tips from supposed market experts. Then they roll out VIP tiers. Invest $50,000 to get access to exclusive signals and a dedicated account manager. You do, and at first, your account shows steady gains. But those gains are fake, fabricated by the platform's backend. When you hit the threshold to withdraw your initial stake, you're told you owe a processing fee or an exit tax that must be paid up front. That fee might be 5% of your balance, so you wire another $5,000 to unlock your money. Then the rug is pulled out again, new fees emerge, or the terms change overnight. Offshore entities often exist in jurisdictions with minimal enforcement and no treaty obligations. That means you have zero recourse once they disappear. Regulators in those countries rarely pursue these operators, and your home country agencies can't easily compel returns. By the time you realize it's a sham, you've lost not only your retirement cash, but also any hope of recovering it. The promise of Forex and CFD trading may glimmer like a rare opportunity, but in 2025's high-tech landscape, these platforms have grown more sophisticated, using AI-generated performance histories and doctored regulatory certificates to seem legitimate. If it sounds too automated, too easy, or too perfect, it almost certainly is. And for retirees, the cost of that one download can be their financial future. Annuities carry a reputation for guaranteed income, but that reputation has been weaponized in a churn-heavy ripoff that targets retirees seeking stability. Here's how it unfolds. An advisor pitches a better annuity, higher teaser rates, bonus credits, or attractive riders like long-term care coverage. and encourages you to surrender your existing contract, rolling its cash value into the new one. At first glance, the shiny brochure dazzles. You'll get an extra 5% premium on top of your funds, and the new index-linked growth rider promises uncapped upside on market rallies with downside buffers. But beneath the surface lie surrender charges that can exceed 10% of your account value in the first few years, commission-heavy front loads that pay the advisor up to 7% of your rollover, and mortality and expense fees that quietly clip your growth every month. After 3 years, when the bonus credits have worn off and the real costs emerge, many retirees see their account values stagnate or even shrink despite sunny market returns. By then, surrender penalties still apply, so the only way to escape is to wait out additional years, during which your guarantees may erode or contract provisions may change. The net effect? You've traded one annuity for another, paid steep fees, lost valuable time in the market, and given up the older contract's more favorable terms, perhaps a lower cap crediting rate or a guaranteed withdrawal benefit with better income bands. Worst of all, this churn isn't illegal. It's baked into the sales incentives of many insurance firms, which reward agents for trading contracts rather than prioritizing client outcomes. Retirees find themselves locked in a cycle where each upgrade resets the clock on fees and forfeits benefits they didn't even realize they had. If your advisor is eager to replace your annuity without first explaining the cumulative impact of surrender charges, commissions, and hidden fees, take a step back. A genuine fiduciary will model both short and long-term outcomes, factoring in every charge and comparing rides-worth-it scenarios. Otherwise, that better annuity could turn into a one-way ticket out of both your existing benefits and your hard-earned savings. In a world where every investment pitch is packaged as risk-free or guaranteed, vigilance is your best defense. These 5 scams may look like legitimate ways to shore up your retirement: crypto platforms promising outsized staking rewards, precious metals IRAs cloaked in fine print, offshore real estate deals hiding empty promises, flashy forex apps with zero risk claims, and annuity churning schemes that bleed you dry in fees. But they share a common playbook. They exploit your desire for security and income, then vanish with your savings. None of these schemes would thrive if you paused to ask the right questions. Where is my money really going? Who regulates this product? And what protections do I have if something goes wrong? What fees, surrender charges, or spreads are buried in the paperwork? Before you hand over a single dollar, insist on transparency. Demand audited statements, verify registrations with the SEC or state insurance departments, and consult a true fiduciary advisor who must put your interests first, not a commissioned salesperson. Cross-check any limited-time offer against credible watchdog sites like the North American Securities Administrators Association, NASAA, or FINRA's BrokerCheck. If withdrawals are mysteriously delayed, if promised returns vanish upon request, or if you find yourself fielding excuses instead of clear confirmations, treat that as a flashing red light. Remember, legitimate investments never require you to wire money to offshore accounts or pay processing fees before accessing your principal. They don't pressure you with emotional sales tactics or rely on secrecy. And they certainly don't vanish the moment you try to withdraw. Your retirement is your most precious asset, protected not by slick marketing, but by your own diligence. By understanding these scams and the warning signs they share, you reclaim control of your financial future. Share this video with someone you care about, and together let's spread the awareness that keeps retirees safe. Because in 2025, the only guarantees you should trust are the ones you uncover yourself. These 5 schemes all wear the mask of legitimacy: crypto platforms that promise effortless yields, precious metals IRAs wrapped in vault glamour, exclusive real estate syndications, flashy offshore forex and CFD apps, and annuity swaps dressed up as upgrades. But beneath each shiny surface lies the same ruthless intent: separation of retirees from their life savings. What makes these cons so dangerous in 2025 is their sophistication. Scammers now deploy AI-generated testimonials, deepfake videos of supposed properties or trading dashboards, and forged regulatory certificates that fool even seasoned investors. They're masters of emotional manipulation, preying on fear, of inflation, of market volatility, of outliving your money, and on the very human desire for security and income. But no matter how polished the brochure or how friendly the pitch, the rules haven't changed. If you can't easily verify the product's registration, if fees and surrender charges lurk in fine print, if withdrawals are gated by arbitrary processing demands, or if promises of guaranteed returns seem too consistent to be real, those are red flags flashing scam. In a world awash with financial misinformation and pressure tactics, your most powerful asset is curiosity. Ask questions, demand documentation, do independent research. A genuine investment will stand up to scrutiny. A con will collapse under it. So before you sign any rollover paperwork, download that trading app or hand over your IRA check. Pause and run through the checklist. Who oversees this product? Where is my money held? What are all the costs, explicitly and implicitly? What happens if I change my mind? And crucially, who benefits most from this transaction, the company or you? If the answer isn't clear, walk away. Your retirement deserves more than hope, it demands diligence. Share this video with parents, friends, neighbors, anyone within reach, and help build a community that questions too good claims before they become devastating regrets. Because when smooth talkers vanish with your savings, the only comfort left is knowing you did everything you could to protect yourself. In 2025, trust but verify, and remember, the safest investment is the one you understand.